Hello everyone, I'm Kristel and Celemin from the Batangas State University, Alangilan Campus, taking Bachelor of Science in Information Technology from the section 2105. This video is all about the summary of the chapter 11. So let's start with the summary. So the chapter 11 is all about the build a small network. So small network topologies. The majority of the businesses are small. So it is not surprising then that the majority of network are also small. With small networks, the design of the network is usually simple since it is small business, so the design of this is just simple. So the number and type of devices included are significantly reduced compared to that of a larger network. The network topologies typically involve a single router and one or more switches. Small networks may also have wireless access points. So the device selection for a small network. In order to meet a user requirements, even small networks requires planning and design. Planning ensures that all the requirements, cost factors, and deployment options are given due consideration. Let's start with the cost. So, the cost of a switch or a router is determined by its capacity and features. So, the switch and routers are they can differ on their capacity and features. So, the higher the capacity and the higher the cost. So, the device capacity includes the number and types of parts available and the backplane speed. Other factors that impact the cost are network management capabilities, embedded security technologies, and the optional advanced switching technologies. Next one is the speed and type of ports interfaces. So, the router and the switch may differ on this one. So, choosing the number and types of ports on a router or switch is critical decision. So, you have to make a wise decision or in choosing what you will have or you will buy. Newer computers have built-in 1 gigabyte NIC. 10 gigabyte ports are already included with some workstation and servers. The expandability. Networking devices come in both fixed and modular physical configuration. Fixed configuration have a specific number and type of ports or interfaces. Then the operating system features and services. Depending on the version of the operating system, a network device can support certain features and services such as security, quality of service, voice over IP, layer 3 switching, network address translation or the NAT, dynamic host configuration protocol or the DHCP, IP addressing for a small network. When implementing a small network, it is necessary to plan the IP addressing space. All hosts within an internetwork must have a unique address. So, for us to easily know the network, so we need to put the unique IP address for them. Then, a failure of the network can be very costly. So, if if some devices have a failure in the network, so it will be costly for the entire network. So, in order to maintain a high degree of reliability, redundancy is required in the network design. Redundancy helps to eliminate single points of failure. So, it helps to eliminate the failures. Administrator should consider the various types of traffic, their treatment in the network design. Common application. The network is only useful as the applications that are on it. So, there are two forms of software program or processes that provide access to the network. The first one is the network application, and the second one is the application layer. So, the network layer services, so it used for the file transfer. The common protocols. Most of the technicians' work is in either a small or large network will in some way be involved with the network protocols. So it is support the application and services used by the employees in a small network. Voice and video applications. Businesses today are increasingly using the IP telephony and streaming media to communicate with customer and business partners. So, we use the video call for the business. For example, our customers are, if I am the businesswoman, so if I have a client outside the country or away from us, so we can communicate them through video call. So we can use the messenger, the Skype, and the different social media platforms that they offer the video calling. Then the VoLP. Devices convert analog into digital IP packets. The device could be an analog telephone adapter that is attached between a traditional analog phone and the Ethernet switch. The IP telephony. In IP telephony, the IP phone itself performs voice to IP conversion. Real-time application. To transport streaming media effectively, the network must be able to support applications that require delay-sensitive delivery. Small network growth. Growth is a natural process for many small businesses. So, we start in a small business. So, as the times goes by, so our small business will become large. So, it grow. And their network must be grow accordingly. So as their business growing, their network should always be growing. So all the things that we buy for a network, so we will itemize that. Traffic analysis, protocols, applications, and services, and their respective traffic requirements should be documented. Protocol analysis. When trying to determine how to manage network traffic, especially as the network grows, it is important to understand the type of threats. So, the first threat is the information threat. So, this is breaking into a computer to obtain confidential information. So, this one is the getting the information theft. The example of this is stealing an organization's proprietary information, such as research and development information, data loss and manipulation. This is breaking into a computer to destroy or alter data records. So, example of data loss is sending a virus that formats the computer's hard drive. And the example of manipulation is breaking into our records system to change information. Then the next one is the identity theft. This is a form of information theft where personal information is stolen for the purpose of taking over someone's identity. So from the word identity theft, so they are stealing the identity of the one person. Disruption of service. This is preventing legitimate users from accessing services to which they should be entitled. So example is the attack on service. Physical security. An equally information vulnerability is the physical security of devices. So an attacker can be denied the use of network resources if those resources can be physically compromised. There are 4 classes of physical threats. So the hardware threats, the physical damage to server, routers, switches, cabling plant, and workstation. The environmental threat, temperatures extreme, too hot or too cold, or humidity extreme, too wet or too dry. Electrical threats, voltage spikes, insufficient supply voltage or the brownouts, unconditioned power or noise, and the total power loss. Maintenance threats, poor handling of key electrical components, lack of critical spare parts, poor cabling, and poor labeling. Types of vulnerabilities. Vulnerability is the damage of weaknesses or the weakness which is inherent in every network and device. Types of malware. Malware or the malicious code or the malcode is short for malicious software. It is a code or a software that is specifically designed to damage, disrupt, steal, or inflict bad or illegitimate action on the data, host, or networks. Viruses, worms, and Trojan horses are types of malware. So let's start with the viruses. A computer virus is a type of malware that propagates the inserting a copy of itself into a becoming part of another program. So the virus is very common for us. So if we have a virus on our laptop, some data of our laptop will disappear or will have a data loss. The next one is worms. Computer worms are similar to viruses in that they replicate functional copies of themselves and can cause the same type of damage. Trojan horses. A Trojan horse is another type of malware named after the wooden horse the Greeks used to infiltrate Troy. So it is a harmful piece of software that looks legitimate. Users are typically tricked into loading and executing it on their systems. After it is activated, it can be achieve any number of attacks on the host or irritating the user to damage the host. Trojan horses are also called the create backdoors to give malicious users access to the system. Resonance attacks. In addition to malicious code attacks, it is also possible for networks to fall prey to various network attacks. Network attacks can be classified into 3 major categories: the resonance attacks, the access attacks, and the denial of service. The backup, upgrade, update, and patch. Keeping up to date with the latest developments can lead to a more effective defense against network attacks. So, we need to update for us to have effective defensive to the malware or the viruses that I said a while ago. Authentication, authorization, and accounting. authentication, authorization, and accounting are the AAA. Network security services provides the primary framework to set up access control on a network device. AAA is a way to control who is permitted to access a network. The firewall. So it is one of the most effective security tools available for protecting users the external threats. So I mentioned a lot of types of viruses or the malware or the that may cause the data loss on our computer. So the firewall is one of the we can use as to defend our data in our laptop. Device security overflow. When an operating system is installed on a device, the security settings are set to default values. The passwords. To protect network devices, it is important to use a strong password. It is not just a password, so it needs to be a strong password. So here are some guidelines for a strong password. The first guideline is use the password length of 8 characters. So the first word is longer password is better. Make passwords complex. So we don't usually use the password as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. So we need to have a complex for the hackers or the others. It is not known. So the next one is avoid password based on repetition, common dictionary words, letter or number sequences, usernames, relative or pet names. So the common words. So we will not use the common words for the others. So that's all for this video. Thank you for watching.